If you think Nigeria is tense currently, just wait. What Peter Obi said could either save this country or set it ablaze. But before we continue, if you want to stay updated on stories like this that affect every Nigerian, like this post and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on the details ahead. On the 20th of November, the Federal High Court in Abuja was filled to the brim. Cameras everywhere. Then Justice James Omotosho delivered the judgment that sent shockwaves across Nigeria. Nnamdi Kanu guilty on all 7 counts, life imprisonment for terrorism. The charges included Kanu's secessionist campaigns, alleged acts of terrorism, killings of security operatives, destruction of public property, and the operation of Radio Biafra. The court held that his recorded threats and sit-at-home directives in the southeast qualified as acts of terrorism. The southeast erupted, some in anger, others in fear, but Kanu's nightmare was just beginning. In the dead of the night, Nnamdi Kanu was secretly moved from DSS custody in Abuja to Sokoto prison, over 1,000 kilometers away. His lawyer, Aloy Ejimako, raised the alarm first, posting on X that Kanu had been moved so far away from his lawyers, family, loved ones. Nnamdi Kanu's younger brother, Prince Emmanuel, accused the Nigerian government and Southeast political leaders of planning to assassinate him in the remote prison facility. He claimed they wanted to deny Kanu access to his personal physicians and force him back onto medications that previously harmed his health. Kanu's wife, Uchechi Okwu Kanu, confirmed her husband's arrival in Sokoto, expressing shock that she learned about it from social media rather than official channels. The fear spread like wildfire. Sokoto State faces ongoing threats from terrorist groups. The prison is isolated, and Kanu's family believes this is not about security, it is about elimination. While the southeast burned with anxiety and rage, Peter Obi stayed silent. Critics attacked him, supporters begged him. Southeast governors maintained their cowardly silence, hiding in the shadows while their region boiled. Then, at exactly 48 hours after the judgment, Peter Obi unleashed a statement that would change everything. On Saturday afternoon, Peter Obi took to his Twitter account and posted a statement that immediately went viral. This is what he said and why every word matters. Obi began, "The news of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's conviction should compel every well-meaning Nigerian to pause and reflect. This is coming at a time when our beloved nation is facing severe economic hardship, insecurity, and the consequences of poor governance. Rather than reducing tension, this unfortunate development may well only aggravate it. Not might aggravate it, not would aggravate it, but he said will aggravate it. That is a prediction, a warning, a prophecy of violence to come. I have always maintained that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu should never have been arrested," Peter Obi declared without hesitation. "For years, I have consistently argued that dialogue, constructive engagement, and inclusive governance offer the path to lasting peace." He called Kanu's arrest, detention, and now conviction a failure of leadership and a misunderstanding of the issues at stake. That is not gentle criticism, that is a direct attack on the Tinubu's government's entire approach. Obi continued, "The concerns Kanu raised were not unheard of. The issues for which he demanded solutions were not insoluble. It only required wisdom, empathy, and the willingness to listen. In any functional society, such grievances are met with dialogue and reforms aimed at strengthening unity. The government had options, they chose the worst one. The government's approach has only created an avoidable distraction at a time when citizens are overwhelmed by harsh economic realities and insecurity," Obi said. While some may insist that the law has taken its course, leadership often demands more than a strict mechanical application of the law, Obi continued. He pointed to examples around the world where governments chose wisdom over rigidity. Nations around the world resort to political solutions, negotiated settlements, and even amnesty when legal processes alone cannot serve the broader interest of peace and stability. This is Obi essentially telling the government, you are doing it wrong. The whole world knows there is a better way, but you are too stubborn or too blind to see it. Then, Peter Obi delivered the line that everyone is still talking about, the metaphor that captures the entire disaster. He said, the handling of Kanu's case mirrors the government as a man trapped in a hole, but who, instead of looking for a way out, keeps digging deeper. It worsens not only the government's predicament, but also the nation's collective condition. You can read that again. The government is trapped. They know they are trapped, but instead of climbing out, they are digging themselves deeper, and they are dragging all of Nigeria down with them. If we truly desire a new Nigeria, a united, peaceful and progressive one, our leaders must choose healing over hostility, reconciliation over retaliation, and dialogue over division, Obi pleaded. Only by addressing grievances with justice, fairness and compassion can we move towards a future where every Nigerian feels heard, valued and safe. Then Peter Obi ended with this desperate appeal. My ultimate call at this time, without prejudice to how anyone feels about the decision of the court, is for us to be optimistic for peace and reconciliation which will come in the end. I am also saying thereby that the presidency, the Council of State and credible statesmen who love this country and who are interested in cohesion and inclusivity should rise to the occasion for a lasting solution. That is Peter Obi's complete message. Every single thing he said, every warning he gave, and every plea. Across the southeast, people are praising Peter Obi for speaking truth to power. This is leadership, they say. While others hide, Obi stands. His supporters see him as the voice of reason in a government gone mad with power. Social media exploded with support. Thank you, Peter Obi, for not abandoning us. A lot of people said, you are the only leader we have left. But on the other side, government supporters are furious. They argue that Kanu was convicted by a court, not politicians. They believe the law took its course fairly. Former presidential aide Bashir Ahmad condemned Peter Obi's criticism, telling the former presidential candidate that Nnamdi Kanu was not who Obi was trying to portray him to be. Ahmad listed allegations Kanu admitted to during his trial, including funding the Eastern Security Network, issuing sit-at-home orders that crippled the Southeast economy, and threatening those who disobey.